how can you love something that you've never tried? That's the question I asked 7-year-old me when I saw the sport of golf and fell in love with it. But I never tried it, so in the summer of 2019, I decided to try golf for the first time in my life. It was horrible, but every single day I forced myself to go to practice in the hot summer heat, and yet it showed through my scores that I'd gotten better. So it's this idea of starting something slowly that is reflected in today's prompt of you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great by Zig Ziglar. What Zig Ziglar is trying to teach us is start taking slow and steady steps towards our goal. And I agree with this because if we don't start now, then we'll run out of time to fulfill the things that we could have if we just had more time. I'll explore this topic with 3 key points. Number 1 is Stone Mover from Wings of Fire. Number 2 is Brennan from Fourth Wing. And number 3 is If Only I Had Told Her. Let's go to our first example of Stone Mover from Wings of Fire. Now, Stone Mover is an animus in Wings of Fire. Now, an animus is a very rare type of dragon that is able to control magic with just their mind. And mind you, they're incredibly rare and they could have helped win the war that had taken place in Wings of Fire for the entire series. But yet, Stone Mover, he hid out in the rocks because he was terrified that he would use his abilities to hurt someone. So when the time struck that he had to help someone, he was already so old that he could barely move his limbs and he had to hire and magic a fox to bring him dinner every 3 days. At this point, Stone Mover was already dead. But just think of the things that Stone Mover could have done if he had just gotten up when he was younger and helped to win the war. Now, Stone Mover started too late to help the dragons, and when he finally used his magic when he was old, he died because of how strong the magic was against his frail body. Now let's go to my second example of Brennan from Fourth Wing. Brennan is the brother of the main character, Violet Sorrengail, and he faked his death for a couple of years to make Violet believe that he was dead, but once the time was ready, she would come and find him when she was most needed. But Violet didn't know this, so when Brennan was finally found, we found out that Brennan has a very special ability. It's called mending, and he could heal wounds in just a matter of snap. But this would have been very useful if Violet was harmed during the parapet, and when she was harmed, then Brennan could have come and helped save her. And even though Violet didn't die, Brennan could also have saved so many lives. For example, Liam's life, which was Violet's best friend before he died because of wounds. Brennan came too late, and when it was time for him to come and save the people, it was way too late, and a lot of people died because of his lateness to come and fulfill his goal of mending people. Now, let's go to my last example of If Only I Had Told Her. If Only I Had Told Her follows the tragic story of Finn and Autumn and their love story. If Only I Had Told Her is based off of the idea that Finn, if only he had told Autumn just a bit earlier that he had loved her, then it wouldn't have happened. Because the day that Finn had told Autumn that he loved her, he was going to go break up with Sylvie. But that one day, it was rainy and he got into a car crash that Sylvie survived, but Finn died. And it was just one day after he had confessed his love for Autumn. Now, if only Finn had told his love to Autumn earlier, then maybe he would be able to break up with Sylvie earlier on a brighter, sunnier day. But when the time came to confess his feelings, we find out that Finn, it was much too late. And when he had finally told her, even though Autumn still loved him in return, it was way too late. And he finally died in the end because of how late he was and how bad of a situation it was for him and Sylvie to dry out and officially die because of how long it took for her to tell her that he loved her. So today I received the topic of you don't have to be great to start. We have to start to be great by Zig Ziglar. Now, what Zig Ziglar is basically trying to tell us is that we should take slow and steady steps to our goal. Because if we don't, then we'll run out of time to fulfill the goals that we once had in life. I explore this topic with 3 key points. One is of Stone Mover, how he could have earlier used his animus magic to help win the war, but when he finally did, it killed him because of his frail body against strong magic. Second is Brennan, how he could have came earlier to use his healing abilities to heal countless lives, but when the time came, a lot of people already died. And third is of If Only I Told Her, if Finn had only come to her earlier, so he wouldn't have died in the end. So the next time you want to start a new sport like me in golf, or just anything in general, just remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Thank you.